Hello you guys, and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah, and in today's video I have 4 different types of items you may be able to declutter before 2019 to help simplify and live your best life with less. As we find ourselves just a few weeks away from the start of 2019, I thought it was the perfect chance to sort of reevaluate our space. And rather than give you a full list of a bunch of different specific items like I did last year, I'll link it up in the cards if you want to check it out. This year, I just wanted to give you some general categories because you can then look around your space and see what types of items fit in these categories for you. Let's begin. The first type of clutter to deal with are things that you did not use the past year. Now, I know there's a lot of different types of rules that people have about, if you haven't used it this season or won't use it the next season, or maybe certain numbers of days, but a whole year. Have you used this item in 2018? This is a pretty generous time period. I mean, it's a full year. But I think if we take a look around our space and think, when was the last time I used it? Was it in 2018? And if it wasn't, then that's probably a good candidate of something to get rid of because you didn't use it for a whole year. Of course, there are a few exceptions to this. Perhaps it is like a sentimental item, but if we use this as a framework, did I use it this past year? That will help us decide whether or not we need to keep it in our lives for 2019. Will we actually be using it in 2019? What will be so different about 2019 compared to 2018? So that would be maybe the first area to target. And while there are definitely many items that we use every year, I'm sure that you can find some items, even if it's just in storage areas of your space, that might not have been used this year. So let's check out those areas first. The second type of item to declutter are those guilt pieces. What items in your space are bringing you guilt? There could be a couple reasons why pieces are making us guilty. It could be financial guilt. Maybe you spent a lot of money on it, or even just a little bit of money on an item, and you didn't end up using it like you thought you would. Or the use of it didn't end up justifying the price. So you think, I spent this amount of money on it. I can't get rid of it. I want to know that I got my money's worth. Another type of guilt might be sentimental guilt. Maybe there is sort of an expectation of you to hold on to certain pieces, but it doesn't really add value to you. You don't see it the same way as maybe someone else might. I think this can also be true with gifts. Let's say you receive some different holiday gifts this year and they don't actually add value to you. You might feel guilty about getting rid of it because it was a gift, but holding on to it and not using it doesn't make it any better. We want to eliminate items that serve as a reminder of negativity in our lives. Guilt has no place in a vibrant lifestyle. And the pieces, whether it's a financial guilt or sentimental guilt type of item, you don't need to have that in your space. If you acknowledge that it's not something that you want to have in your life, or if you acknowledge that it's not going to add value to you, if it only serves as a negative reminder of something, then don't keep it. You'll forget about it. I know I always am stunned when I look back at old anti-haul decluttering videos I've done. I forgot that stuff I got rid of. And it's like, I got rid of that. So when you get rid of these things that are making you feel guilty, you get rid of some of those negative feelings there. So definitely, let's move on in 2019 and not be stuck in the past or feeling guilty about certain items that we want to get rid of, but we feel like we can't. You can. The third type of item to get rid of is duplicate items. I've mentioned this before, it's kind of an obvious choice, but if you've got multiples of something that you don't actually need multiples of, keep the best one, because then you don't have to waste your time with the one that's not as good, just keep the best one. This could be kitchen equipment. At one point after Jake and I got married, we had 3 pizza cutters. Why? It could be a type of clothing. At one point I had multiple pairs of black jeans. Why? I don't know. These things just kind of accumulate. But if we can identify the items that you have the same exact thing of, just keep whatever the better one is, because you might find one item is all you need. Now, obviously, this doesn't apply to every single thing. You probably want to keep more than one bowl, one plate, one cup, etc. But there's definitely items that we probably don't use that much that we have way more than we need of them. It's very easy to do. Maybe you purchased the new version and didn't declutter the older version yet. Maybe you forgot you had one. Whatever it is, see if you can simplify those duplicate items, and that is a great way to reduce your things without having to make any sacrifice. The last category of items to consider decluttering before 2019 has to do with your fantasy self. I did make a full video about this for more detail. I'll link up in the cards and the description field below. But If you are holding on to items that are for a more ideal version of yourself that you're actually not, let's let those items go. For me, I was thinking that I was, this fancy like pastry chef and needed all these baking essentials. I was thinking that I was like into yoga, which I'm not. I'll do yoga like once or twice a year, but that's like the extent of it. It's just acknowledging yourself. Yeah, maybe I wish that I was into yoga or that I was this fancy pastry chef, but I'm not. And I'm not going to be, and I don't want to be. And so that's okay. I don't need to keep the stuff for that potential desire or interest. These are tough questions. But ask yourself, what is the purpose of these items? Is this who I actually am or actually can be? Or is this an ideal version of me that I know I'm never going to be? If we can be real with ourselves, that means we're able to have belongings and items that actually reflect who we are and match up with our actions rather than that extra stuff that accumulates for those X, Y, and Z type of things. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wanted to give you just a nice quick video to help motivate you for any final decluttering you hope to do this year. But of course, if you're looking for a little bit more decluttering inspiration, feel free to check out one of my past videos or subscribe to the channel up here. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.